Hello there my fellow holotable heroes and welcome to another Leviathan counter guide. Already covered Chimera and Profundity guides, so you can find those in the link in the description below on my SWGOH Life website. And now it's time to take a look as well at Executor versus Leviathan. It was probably one of the most requested counter guides actually. I had quite a few people asking me over the past few weeks, hey, can you do this next? But I did a lot of testing. There's a lot of kind of nuisance to these counters because all the bounty hunter ships as well as Leviathan and Seed Fighter, their speeds are quite kind of similar, kind of like mid 180s, so it depends on your relics, the enemy relics, the turn order can be different, so did lots of testing, different turn orders and things like that, different strategies to see what works best. And then of course we had 2 weeks of Conquest in between, so I was focused on that. Now with Conquest finished, I was able to get back to testing this and finishing off this guide. Now before I get into it, first let me give a huge shout out to a fellow community member, Koji. He really helped me a lot with testing this. Both of us added more relics than we probably wanted on our bounty hunter ships, just so we could also test both lower and high relics, how they perform and work. And also the idea of having Slave 1 starting instead of IG came from him. So definitely all the credit for that idea goes to him. Again, we both of us did lots of testing with different turn orders and things like that. So hopefully, no matter relic levels you can find out of, I'll show you 4 or 5 different turn orders and strategies. Hopefully one of them will work for you. It's hard to say exactly what the win rate is on this one, because there's some RNG involved, and especially versus Relic 9 Seed Fighter, you're really pushed to remove any sort of RNG. But versus those kind of starting ones with Relic 5 Seed Fighters, those ones have a lot more flexibility in terms of turn order. Now as usual in my guides, I'll first go quickly through some of the mechanics of both fleets. I will not cover everything, just what we will focus on, what's the most important, and then talk about the RNG factors of these battles, and then show you quite a few battles. I think that's the most battles I have ever covered in this guide, but try to cut them down, speed them up, make them shorter, so you're not sitting here for 1 hour. It's just because there's so many variants depending on, again, on your relics, on Sith Assassin relics, and as well I'll do a couple of battles versus TIE Dagger at the end of the video. Spoiler alert, versus TIE Dagger Executor doesn't work that well. You can get it to work, but you really need good RNG there. So definitely I would avoid personally using Executor versus TIE Dagger. But now let's just first quickly go through Leviathan and just some of the key things we'll be looking out for. Now my Leviathan, if you look at the speed, I think is 176 because it's 6 stars, but at 7 stars Leviathan speed will be 184. So we'll have to keep that in mind as we will be going through the other ships and turn order. Now Leviathan does a lot of things, but for this particular battle the most what you will notice is this one. So depending whether Leviathan goes before or after your bounty hunters, it will inflict ferocity and critical hit immunity. While yes, enemies do regain critical hit immunity if you dispelled from them, they gain 5 stacks of ferocity, and then for each stack of ferocity they will lose, I think, 15% of defense, so they'll be a little bit easier to take down after Leviathan takes a turn. But obviously it depends on the situation, as I will show you from the battles. That's really all what I wanted to talk about with Leviathan, the speed and the ferocity. And then the next one we'll talk about is the Sith Fighter. Now mine's at Relic 5, I don't have 6 dot mods on him at 73. I think if I put 6 dot mods on him, the speed of a Relic 5 Sith Fighter would be 175. And these ones are very straightforward to take down because the speed difference between Leviathan on 184 and obviously Sith Fighter 175 is huge, so you've got quite a lot of speed range to fit your bounty hunters in between according to your relic levels. Now the key thing here is that at Relic 9 Sith Fighter speed will be 183, which means 1 speed slower than enemy Leviathan, and that's where you basically do not have that gap to go after Leviathan when the enemies has ferocity on them, so you can quickly take down Sith Fighter before it gets to do a whole lot. At Relic 8 speed will be 181, a little bit more wiggle room there, but again, depending on your speeds, there may be a coin flip whether Seed Fighter or your guys go, but definitely Relic 7 or below. I would say, you know, it's a lot more consistent with Slave 1 starting. Otherwise, for these Relic 9s, maybe unless you have high Relic on all your guys that you can go before Seed Fighter, you may probably want to use triple attackers for those. Obviously, Seed Fighter, I'm not going to waste too much time on him. We all know what Seed Fighter brings. It's probably the most annoying ship on this whole fleet to deal with, because as soon as somebody gets below 100% health on your side, they will gain bonus turn meter and start overwhelming you. We got they also spreading foresight and everything. So yeah, Seed Fighter is definitely the biggest threat on this team, and that's why TIE Dagger lineups are harder to take down, because Seed Fighter is not starting, so you can't just kill it off. Like, you can kill off TIE Dagger quickly if TIE Dagger is starting with good RNG, but then Seed Fighter comes in and, you know, you have to deal with all the foresight and everything. So definitely that's why I think TIE Dagger is tougher to take down, because you still have to deal with Seed Fighter. So as you can see, not a whole lot when it comes to abilities and what these guys do. I just want to highlight the speeds will be important to allow us to manipulate turn order of our guys. Now, speaking of bounty hunters, the speeds and everything will cover it. So let's just go ahead and have a look. Now, before I start testing, all my bounty hunters were basically like Relic 5, and you can get to work with those as well, but I also wanted to see what happens if you do have high relics, you know, how you can deal with those Relic 9 Sith Assassins. And for those, spoiler alert, you will need some good relics on your guys, and also for the triple attacker variant as well. Now, Razor Crest, you probably know it does a lot of things, most importantly here from Unique. So whenever another bounty hunter uses special, they will inflict breach which can't be evaded or resisted. So this doesn't apply to Razor Crest or others. So the more breach we get, more bonuses we get as well from the breach, which we'll talk about. And then the special here can also inflict breach. However, this can be resisted, and if the target was already breached, you could potentially then buff immunity as well on them, so they can't get, like, you know, a critical hit immunity or something like that. And then obviously we call somebody for assist. Depending who we call for an assist, in certain situations you can get different benefits, which again I will be covering later on. The basic here, if the target is breached, we land mark. Now this sometimes can be a little bit annoying, because you can open up with the mass assist, and if you land a breach at the same time, you can also mark, for example, Seed Bomber, and then you can't, even though you dispel then the taunt from Seed Bomber, it's marked, you can't go after somebody else. It is very rare, but it can happen, definitely a little bit annoying. In terms of the speed, the Relicate is at 188, but again, you can a little bit manipulate speed by, you know, putting 5-dot mods or removing some mods. So as I'll be showing you different turn orders, I'll be showing you the speeds as well for each of the battles. And here we got Slave 1. Now we will all have probably Relicate Boba, so we are probably in the same boat. With 6-dot mods, Relicate will be at 168. However, it will be gaining extra 15 speed from its unique at the start of the battle, so the effective speed of this one is 183, which again puts it in the same level as the Relic 9 Sith Assassin. So sometimes it comes to the coin flip, who goes first, Seed Fighter or Slave 1. If Seed Fighter is still alive, goes before you, get somebody below 100% health, things can go wrong. So probably if you got Relic 9 Boba, then, you know, you eliminate another piece of RNG in some of these battles, but I simply do not have resources enough to take Boba to Relic 9 to try that out myself. And Boba is an absolute amazing ship. On top of the extra speed we get here, also the basic there, it has a chance to do attack, I think 3 times in total. So for each of those attacks, target locks will land, which is nice. And then also if the enemy has been breached, it will dispel buffs on them. So that's how we will be utilizing in some of the battles, so we can actually dispel the taunt on Seed Bomber. And finally, the special proton torpedoes. I call it really an AoE, but it's not an AoE, but probably as I'll be going through the battles, I will refer to it as an AoE. But essentially, it will deal damage to target and all target locked enemies. That's why you will want to a little bit spread the target locks. and then unleash it, and then also you can land ability blocks on them. Especially we will want to make sure we ability block Malgus whenever we can, so it doesn't use its healing ability, or later on as well its mass assist. Okay, so that's slave 1, and let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Xanadu Blood. Sorry, Hunstooth, you won't be used in this one. So the unique here, Xanadu obviously gains stealth, but most importantly, we are dealing bonus damage to 10% of max health whenever damaging breached enemies. Now this is important because obviously we can burn them down faster. And then while Xanadu Blood is active, breached enemies have minus 25% offense. So this can a little bit offset those fast Sith fighters. If you do land breach on them, they will have reduced defense, then it's less likely they get your guys below 100% health on that attack. So definitely this helps as well a little bit, eliminate some of the RNG if you can do that. And then let's get its basic. It again has a 65% chance to attack again, and this is probably especially with the triple attacker area, and that's where the biggest RNG factor is. Are you getting those double taps here from your Xanadu Blood or not? Because then for each of those also can land breach, but this can be resisted, and obviously target locks as well. And AoE from Xanadu Blood is very, very useful as well. It's not the fact that it deals damage to everybody, but it will inflict target lock on the weakest enemy, which is cool because then you kind of they have a chance there to target lock Sith Assassin. Then once you get target lock there, obviously Slave 1 can follow up with the ability blocks, and as well if Sith Fighter is already target locked, you get a chance to land a breach on all target locked enemies with the AoE. So again, another way to get breach out there at the start of the battle. And then let's talk about IG here. So IG special, obviously, well, stun is nice, but really, if you are using triple attackers, you will want your IG to be clocked faster than your Executor, so you can get that guaranteed breach out there. So when you do mass assist, you are guaranteed double taps, more bonus damage, more target locks and everything, right? So mine's here at Relic 7, which puts it at 190. In my Piet is at Relic 8, which would put the Executor 192. So for testing, I had to remove 3 mods of my Piet to make it 189. Obviously, if you do want to be removing mods, you will need to make sure that IG is equal Relic level to your Piet with equal mods, and then it will be 1 speed faster, I believe, than your Piet. So that's how it's gonna have to be here for the triple attacker. This guy going first, and then the basic is very nice because it's a guaranteed double tap on breached enemies, which means, you know, more target locks, more bonus damage. You can take these guys down faster. Okay, let's take a deep breath. That was a lot of things to go through. I didn't want to go through everything. I probably missed some things, but just really wanted to go through the key things we'll be looking out for. And then in terms of turn order, depending on what you can achieve for each battles, I'll be showing you the speeds and turn order for each battle, so you can try and hopefully mimic that and see what works best for you. But now let's finally go through the RNG factors. Now the first one, it's more really for the triple attacker lineup, so it's IG over Slave 1 starting. How fast can you get your contract? Because if you don't hit your contract by the time you bring in Slave 1 as your first reinforcement, you can't do seismic charge yet. It's not going to be reset. Even if you use the torpedoes, it won't do a whole lot of damage. So that's the biggest RNG factor when it comes to triple attackers. Okay, so let's then look some of the RNG factors that will affect Slave 1 starting. So will Sith Fighter get you below 100% health when it gets a turn? There we go, it target there, Slave 1 got it below 100% health, and now they get going because now they can overwhelm you and things like that. Again, this is really for like those Relic 8s, Relic 9s Sith Assassins. Relic 7 or below, you shouldn't have that bit of RNG there, because in most likely case you will finish off Sith Fighter before it gets a turn. So the next bit we have to talk about is who will get stunned. Now this one is a minor bit of RNG, so whenever they reinforce, they will stun one of your guys. Again, not the biggest RNG piece, but sometimes can be a little bit annoying. Like I wanted my Razor Crest there to get a turn, so I could go ahead and mark Sith Fighter with a basic and then finish him off but because they stunned my Razor Crest, I was not able to do that. And the RNG Factors, no double taps. Now this one again, it's more really for triple attackers, so because it will delay your contract, but also with Slave 1 it can be a little bit annoying, as you will see in this example. Opening sequence, no double taps. I'm like, fine, this is still from the same battle. I'm like, there we go, let's go ahead, try and finish. Almost finished off their Thief Assassin. So yeah, definitely double tap sometimes can be annoying, because again, it's a 65% chance it's gonna do blood double taps, right? But in most cases, as long as, you know, he double taps once out of 2 times in beginning, you should be good to go. And then the RNG factor is very important one, obviously, how fast you can get breach on the field, because the faster you get it out, more guaranteed double taps you get there from IG, you get other bonuses, enemies get detrimental effects based on breach as well, and obviously you deal bonus damage. So there we go, first chance to land breach with a special there from Razor Crest, double tap there didn't land breach, AoE there did not land breach, and even here mass assist, no breach. So this is absolute worst case scenario. I had like 6-7 chances to land breach and none of them landed. It's definitely, you know, you can still pull off a win after this kind of bad RNG, but it's definitely much more difficult. Okay, let's take another deep breath. All right, RNG factors out of the way as well. Hopefully you're still with me on this one. So I'm gonna go through quite a few battles. I'm not sure exactly if I have like maybe 10 battles in total or so, but again, I try to speed them up just so that we can get through them faster. So we'll just start off first with a couple of battles with triple attackers, just to show you how it works. Again, showing you the speeds and relic levels on here. Relic levels themselves don't matter all that much, it's really the speeds that are important. So there you go, I had to remove some of the mods of my Piet just to make sure IG goes first, then Executor will go, then Razor Crest, Xanadu Blood, and then finally Leviathan and Sith Fighter. Now this potentially can work as well with not this turn order. I'm just showing you the ideal turn order. So if you can reach the ideal turn order, you will significantly reduce the RNG in this triple attacker lineup with IG starting. We go first, guaranteed breach, cannot be resisted, cannot be evaded. And because we have breach, we have no bonus damage. We get guaranteed double tap there from IG. I'm just gonna go ahead, call here Xanadu Blood to assist, even though it's double tap is not guaranteed like IG, you can get there also extra breaches as well from the basics, which is nice. And then we call with Xanadu Blood IG to assist. Sith Fighter will target somebody again, bit of an RNG, who he targets, do they get below 100% health or not, but otherwise we'll just keep pounding here. Bomber, you have to get him out as fast as possible. And what they bring in Phantom, again I'll be showing you different reinforcements. So this one with Phantom is probably the trickiest one potentially, because they'll be able to quickly bring somebody out. Unfortunately I had their foresight on Sith Fighter, wasn't able to get it out, but without Bomber in there at least I can go out and take somebody out. Bit of RNG, who will intercept the right insta kill when it comes to reinforcement. Gotta dodge there. All right, let's go ahead. Sith Assassin, no foresight on Sith Fighter, so I'm just gonna go ahead and try and finish it up. They were able to heal up. Okay, there we go. Come on, 1 hit, 2 hit, down he goes. Let's go ahead, heal up the team a little bit. Dispel, they get a few hits out there. So they're bringing another reinforcement, TIE Dagger. So I guess the downside of having Phantom as the first reinforcement is that you don't get enough debuffs out there, which allowed me to actually bring Houndstooth in this one. So while Phantom can be tricky to beat, it probably gives you like an extra turn or so before the ultimate. So yeah, you can definitely beat these guys, you know, as long as RNG is decent, is not absolutely horrible. Just finishing off the battle here, and that's basically it. Okay, so this is another one with IG starting, so similar thing, but obviously Palp will be the first reinforcement here. And we'll start off the same. We're just gonna get a breach on the Bomber, do mass assist, hopefully get some double taps from Xanadu Blood. No double taps and a dodge there, not by really ideal RNG, but at least I got double tap there. Call IG for assist, guarantee double tap, and now they go. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Now Sith Fighter goes, there we go, hit there. Xanadu Blood did not get it below 100% health. It's really IG and Slave 1, they've got much lower protection. They're kind of, I guess, the biggest risk when it comes to getting below 100% health. They're bringing Palp Shuttle here. They got a stun on Xanadu. I'm just going to go ahead now, bring, as always, Boba. Always make sure whenever you reinforce Slave 1 here to target Malgus just to get a guaranteed ability block on him, so you stop him from using his mass assist ability, which obviously then can get your Slave 1 there below 100% health, which gives them more turn meter and so on. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead, finish off there Sith Fighter, finishing off Sith Bomber, and at this point, you know, the win is in the bag. Even if they do manage to bring in Mark Interceptor, kill one of our guys, it doesn't even matter. But if we get lucky here with the assist, boom, boom, they won't even have a chance. Alright, so let's show you one more here battle with the same lineup, kind of same turn order, just so that you don't get ideas. This is 100% win rate, just to show you what happens when there's a smart move from Sith Fighter. So same thing as before, we do breach, we do target locks, get a double tap or not. We call an assist here on Xanadu with Razor Crest, then Xanadu calls IG. So far so good, but now here Sith Fighter will decide to target IG, get it below 100% health. There we go, just about. And now they get rolling, get going. Again, Phantom reinforcement, maybe if it would be Interceptor reinforcement, you can still pull out a win at this point, but here it was very difficult to recover. Anyway, still no contract. They're bringing in another reinforcement already. Down goes Razor Crest. So yeah, you get the idea that sometimes definitely, you know, combinations of reinforcement and bad RNG there definitely will cause you to lose. Again, give it a go, see how triple attackers work for you, see if it's good enough or not. Otherwise, we can now move on onto the different strategy there by using Slave 1 starting. There you go, just finishing up the battle, just showing you this end up in a loss. I mean, my guys did put up a fight, but they just get too many reinforcements, and eventually I just ran out of firepower to finish these guys off. And now, as mentioned, let's talk about Slave 1 starting over IG. Now this one, depending again on your relics, on the enemy relics, but in this case, I've got a Relic 8 Piet, will be at 192. Then next we'll go Leviathan at 184. Remember, Leviathan will go first and then add Ferocity on its ships, which means they get reduced defense. So we will benefit from some extra damage because of that. However, as you can see, the speed you want to line up is then Razor Crest right after 183, Xanadu Blood 182, Slave 1 I reduce speed to 166, so it will be at 181. However, there's then the coin flip with the Relic 8 Sith Fighter. So this lineup, this turn order, really works reliably versus Relic 7 or below Sith Fighter. Relic 8, coin flip, Relic 9, as I'll show you, can be again problem. So for Relic 9 we will adjust our turn order, but this is what we'll begin with. So if you do have, like, you know, your pilots, bounty hunters at Relic 5, this is probably the strategy that might work better, because if you can't get IG faster than your Executor, the triple attacker probably won't work as well. So this one for many of you might be the strategy you will be trying out. So anyway, we start off with a mass assist. Okay, then they go land Ferocity on their guys, which means reduced defense. So first you wanna, with Razor Crest, target their Sith Fighter, call Boba for an assist, and then Xanadu Blood goes. There we go, we got their breach on him as well, and call Slave 1 to assist to dispel the taunt. Now we can target Malgus, ability block everybody that were target locked as well. Nearly they'll killed off Sith Fighter. Sometimes you finish it off, sometimes not. But anyway, they bring in Palp Shuttle, there we go, contract triggered. We can now use Seismic Charge, finish off Sith Fighter, and as well I think we triggered their Savior over on Bomber, finished off Bomber there, triggered Savior on Malgus, finishing off Malgus, and now we just have to take down their Palp Shuttle. So this strategy in most cases will work very well versus Relic 7 or below Sith Fighter with that particular turn order. So just showing you now versus Relic 5 Sith Fighter here again. there's no coin flip now, or with Relic 9 that will go before your Slave 1. So with Relic 7 or below, you're basically guaranteed to kill off Seed Fighter before it even gets a turn, no matter really the RNG. But anyway, we'll just start off with a Mass Assist here. There we go. No breach, we even got a dodge there. So not ideal start. Let's go ahead, call here Slave 1 to assist. This time, hopefully we land a breach, and because we land the breach, we were able to dispel critical damage immunity. Now we get to do an AoE, we can critically hit as well, do another AoE, finish off their Seed Fighter before it even got a turn. And there you go, that's why, versus these Relic 7 or below Seed Fighters, this strategy of having slower bounty hunters works really, really well. We got Seismic Charge, and they're pretty much done for this time. They're also not bringing in a dealer reinforcements at this point. So you can definitely, again, give it a go, see what works best for you. I'm gonna go ahead here, finish off Bomber, and once Bomber is down, this team will fall apart very quickly. So there you go, that's how it works, versus Relic 7 or below. You don't worry about coin flip, the turn order, and as long as you can get that breach out there at some point, you should be good to go versus this Seed Fighter starting with a little bit lower relics. And let me now show you up next what happens when you're going up against Relic 8 or above Seed Fighter. So in this particular lineup, as you can see, there's going to be a coin flip between the Seed Fighter and Razor Crest. They're both 183. As shown you before, if you have a Relic 8 Seed Fighter, it can still hop before your Slave 1. So again, there can be a little bit of an RNG there, but just to show you that actually it's really these Relic 9 Seed Fighters that are problematic. Anyway, we're just gonna do the same thing, start off. This time we actually got a breach out there, which is nice. Alright, there we go, and here it is. Seed Fighter targeted Slave 1 there, got it below 100% health. Now if you would target Razor Crest or Xanadu Blood, they probably could take that hit without going below 100% health. So again, it can still work versus these Relic 9s, they're just a little bit more prone to RNG. But otherwise, you can see we're doing some good progress, nearly killed off their Seed Fighter. So again, could work, could not work. But again, Foresight just could not finish off Seed Fighter fast enough. I started losing ships, they're bringing in more reinforcement, and I just did not have here, I think, enough to get a win in the end. They got the ultimate, bringing more reinforcements. Again, I don't want to, make it look like it's 100% win rate, especially versus these ones with Relic 9s is tougher. Now, one way to deal with these Relic 9 Seed Fighters is if you do have more relics on your guys, like for example, in this particular battle, my best commando was at Relic 7, so I was able to get it to 186, and then Relic 8 on my Xanadu Blood was at 185. This then allowed me to go before enemy Leviathan, which then obviously allows you to get that breach out sooner and hopefully deal with a Relic 9 their Seed Fighter, get a breach on it. So even if it targets Slave 1, then obviously with that reduced offense, it might not be able to get it below 100% health. It really depends, but just to show you how this plays differently. But same thing, we start Mass Assist, we call here Slave 1 for assist, get a breach out there, and then we do an AoE. Now we go. Okay. Yep. And because our ships were faster, I was able to obviously clock Slave 1 to be 183. So then there is a coin flip between Seed Fighter and Slave 1. Although, because I did land breach on Seed Fighter, it gets reduced speed. So maybe at this point it wasn't a coin flip anymore. Maybe it would happen every time that Slave 1 would go before Relic 9 Seed Fighter if you do land breach on Seed Fighter straight away. So definitely with high relics, it gives you a little bit more flexibility how you manipulate your turn order, and also reduces a little bit of an RNG there versus R9 Seed Fighters. And the rest of the battle pretty straightforward as others. As soon as Seed Fighter goes down, these battles kind of fall apart very quickly. Now we go, finishing off Bomber, and now just have to go through Mark. Okay, they brought another reinforcement, fine. Sometimes Mark Interceptor can be a little bit annoying to deal with, but eventually you do get it down. Shuttle goes down. They bring in another. Come on, guys, just give up. It's over. There we go. Hopefully they're out of reinforcements. There we go. So definitely having high relics gives you a little bit better chance to win versus Relic 9 Seed Fighter. Now again, I have to mention Koji, because again, this was his idea that he came up with this. But this one, I guess, is maybe least realistic one, but I just want to show you what you can do if you can get it to work. So what we want to do here is remove all mods from Piet, which again is not practical for Grand Arena, but for climbing in, your Fleet Arena could be practical if you're having issues with these Relic 9 Seed Fighters. So what we'll do is, as long as, for example, so you've got a Relic 8 on Xanadu, which can be 186, and then Relic 8 Piet without mods is going to be 185. If your Piet is Relic 9, then probably you would need as well a Relic 9 Cat Bane in order for this to work. So again, this is going to be a bit, I think, limited to who can use this. I just wanted to show it to you and share it with you, just to show that this actually is probably the most effective way if you can get your turn order correct, while other bounty hunters will be slower than Leviathan to begin with, which again obviously leaves you a little bit vulnerable to Relic 9 Seed Fighters. But on that, versus Relic 8 should still be good, because your Slave 1 will be at 182. There we go. Which what this allows you is to remove the taunt from Bomber, which then leaves Seed Fighter out in the open that you can send mass assist on it. Again, showing you better RNG here. Didn't get any breach on Seed Fighter. Now, if you don't get breach, you will want to call Hero Assist on it, Seed Fighter, finish it, take it down. I don't have breach, I don't have target logs there over on Malgus, so just use basic there with Slave 1, no point of using other abilities. Again, just keep attacking whoever is breached. Remember, we get bonuses when we are damaging breached enemies. There we go. They brought their Slave 1 below 100% health, but it doesn't matter at this point because we nuked Seed Fighter in beginning. Now we got Mark on Bomber, so we have to force it. Again, sometimes this Mark, as mentioned beginning, can get in the way. Going to go ahead there, unleash Seismic Charge, of which I think triggered Savior on both Malgus and as well Bomber. Or no, just Bomber actually. Okay, fine, let's go ahead. This hopefully will finish off Bomber here. There we go. Now we can turn our attention over to Malgus, finish him as well. Let's make sure to heal up our Boba so he survives. And at this point, we are in good shape. And that's why, like, if you can get your Cat Bane to open up before your Executor, really opens up, these counters to have a better win rate, because you can remove that pre-taunt and just try to nuke Seed Fighter out of there. It does happen sometimes that the mass assist alone, if you get lucky with the breaches, just nuke Seed Fighter, he's just gone. There we go, that was an example there. Let me show you another one. So this is where you do land a breach on Seed Fighter in the beginning. In the first battle I didn't, so then I called a Razor Crest assist on Seed Fighter to finish him before he gets a turn. Again, this is versus high relics versus low relic Seed Fighters. You don't need to worry about them because your Slave 1 will get a turn before them. Same thing, we're going to go ahead, remove the taunt here by calling Slave 1 to assist. We do now mass assist over on enemy Seed Fighter. Now it's breached, reduced speed, reduced offense, so you can kind of leave it for the time being and instead try and get a breach over on Malgus as well and target lock, so then we can obviously get that torpedoes there over there from Slave 1 to get some target locks out there on everybody. But first, let's go ahead, do Seismic Charge, finish off Seed Fighter, he's gone. If obviously you wouldn't have Seismic Charge ready to use there, you would just do ability blocks. Okay, the important thing is to get that target lock for later over on Malgus and as well Breach, because now we can put actually Breach. I decided here to actually switch over to Malgus because it was low in health already. Put Mark on him, I can ignore it on, get him down. There we go, one hit. Wasn't quite enough, let's go ahead and finish him. Down he goes. And obviously if Malgus would still be alive at that point, I think maybe the ability block would be better so it doesn't do mass assist. Now because this is the Phantom variant with reinforcement, they were able to bring in Mark Interceptor straight away, kill off somebody, but at this point it didn't even matter. I'm just gonna go ahead, heal up, and I'll just go ahead, couple of hits on this guy and this is all over. Again, gaining stacks. Mark Interceptor, mash. But as you can see, again, the downside of having Phantom as the first reinforcement, for defensive purposes at least, you can actually bring in another reinforcement because they didn't deal enough debuffs yet to use the second special. And finally we can now put these guys in the grave and finish it. Okay, so have you seen that still, like, you know, Relic 9 Seed Fighter with this particular strategy can be problematic. So I bumped my best Commander to Relic 8. This really exhausted the last stash of relics I had, the material. I'm totally dry. I have to start from scratch hoarding relic materials. But anyway, I think it was worth it for this video. Because this at Relic 8 then best Commander, it's gonna be 188, and our Relic 8 Xanadu still at 186. We got Piet with removed mods at 185. And what this allowed us then is to push our Slave 1 speed higher up, because we don't have to worry about it obviously having a conflict with Razor Crest. So this allows you a little bit different turn order, and this again then the only threat potentially could be Relic 9 Seed Fighter, but with this particular turn order you've got so many chances to get Breach out there that, you know, you really hopefully should. The reason why it's good to have Razor Crest going first, because you get a guaranteed target lock on Seed Fighter. And then when Xanadu Blood opens up with its AoE, even though you're targeting Seed Bomber, because Seed Fighter was already target locked, you get an extra chance there to land a breach on it. So that's going to be very important. Okay, there we go. We open up now with Razor Crest first, get the target lock, maybe breach as well. If you get breach, even better. I'm going to go ahead now core Slave 1 for an assist, dispel the taunt. And now, because Seed Fighter is so low in health already because of the breach, I'm not even wasting the mass assist on it. I instead did mass assist on Malgus, and because this is not a Relic 9 Seed Fighter, I don't have to worry about it getting a turn. There we go, we already exhausted life number 1 over on Malgus. I'm just gonna go ahead, finish him off, down he goes, and now we just have to go after Bomber, which is a little bit annoying. But obviously without Malgus in there, there's no more this extra defense that they're getting. So you should be able to burn for these guys very quickly. And there you go, that's the final one with Slave 1 starting versus Seed Fighter. Again, probably less realistic ones, these ones where you have to make Piet slower. But if you can, this is very effective for fleet arena climbs. Or who knows in the future, maybe Piet won't get used at all in Grand Arena as well, because we have new Gideon coming and we will not have enough Imperial Troopers, at least for the time being, for 3 full trooper lineups. So maybe we'll just have Aiden and then Imperial Remnants, and there is no Veers anymore, troopers left. And then maybe you can have your Piet without mods, even for the Grand Arena and Territory Wars, if you do want to use this counter there. But mainly this is for Fleet Arena. And as mentioned in the beginning, I'll show a couple of TIE Dagger battles here. Again, I would not personally recommend using Executor versus Dagger just because of the clans and everything. But most importantly, clans is actually not that much of a problem. The problem is, yeah, you kill off TIE Dagger in beginning, you know, with good RNG, but then Seed Fighter reinforces and you can't get to it because of the taunts and everything, and that's really the problem. The Seed Fighter is the biggest problem in this entire fleet. No, it seems like no matter which counter you are using. But anyway, I'll just show you the battles. If you know, get good RNG, you get a win, but in most cases when I was doing, I think I did about 10 battles and I just got a couple of wins out there, and I really had to have perfect RNG lineups. You can see, got those target locks straight away, removed the taunt, and now I did mass assist on Dagger, got him out. But again, you know, you won't nuke TIE Dagger every single time, and you have to do this in order for you to get a chance to win versus Dagger starting. But in most cases, you know, you won't be able to nuke it, because I think also tenacity wise it's got higher tenacity than the other Civ ships here. And this is where the problems begin. Yeah, we nuked a Dagger, but now we got Seed Fighter there, feeding turn meter to the team, spreading foresight. Very annoying. Now we go. Everybody has now foresight already except Malgus. Okay, just trying to finish off Malgus if I can. Sure. Foresight, they dodging everything. At least I was able to finish off Malgus. Finally got contract trigger there. And now they're bringing in Interceptor. I guess I got unlucky there or lucky, I'm not sure, because looks like basic without the insta-kill finished off Slave 1, so Mark Interceptor still has an insta-kill waiting to happen. As you can see, I had basically pretty much perfect RNG run to begin with, and it's still a struggle. In most cases, this is not even going to be a win, just again because of that insta kills coming in, and yeah, it was a loss. As you can see, even after a perfect RNG start, still a loss, just because Seed Fighter lives, because you can't kill it off. Now, if you do want to use Executor versus TIE Dagger starting, triple attacker with IG over Slave 1 starting is less bad. I can't call it better, I'll just call it less bad, because it's still not ideal, because again, you can't get to Seed Fighter when it reinforces, that's the main problem. But anyway, I will just start off as we did with the other triple attacker lineups, just go bonkers on Bomber. This is a little bit annoying, obviously, with TIE Dagger, or the dispel that happens once it reaches 15 stacks of its effect, blue effect, or whatever is used. Here we go, we got through Bomber number 1, so far so good. They're gonna disable our engines. Okay, they're healing up now, and we'll just keep going after here. Sith Marauder, hopefully we can get a contract, there we go. At least you get a chance if you do get a contract out, but here we go. Here comes the Terminator train rolling, spreading foresight, reinforced Slave 1, everybody got foresight except Malgus. Again, make sure to target Malgus if you can, just that you get guaranteed ability block when you reinforce Slave 1. No point of doing seismic charge, everybody got foresight, so just use its torpedoes instead. Here comes the cleanse again, but luckily we got now locked breach, locked target lock. Was lucky enough there that counterattack finish off Bomber there. Counterattacks as well, creating off foresight. Let's see if we can get out. Seed Fighter, almost there, come on. All right, there we go. I think from here on out, you know, you should be good to go. Again, depending on, probably the worst thing to do is taking out Razor Crest. But anyway, we'll just keep going. Can still win here. Let's go ahead. Hey, we should finish off Interceptor, so let's just go ahead, call actually here, targeting TIE Dagger maybe. Get TIE Dagger out. 1 hit, 2 hit, wasn't quite enough. Let's go ahead, heal up Boba here. Okay, there we go. Unleash seismic charge. We have to go through Malgus. Okay, they're going their ultimate, but that's okay. We just have Malgus to finish, and that will result in a win. But as you can see, definitely I feel like the triple attacker is a little bit better versus this TIE Dagger starting. But again, personally, I would not recommend using your Executor versus TIE Dagger. But again, to be honest, but again, to be fair, it's very difficult to fight TIE Daggers in Fleet Arena to test, so maybe if there will be more TIE Daggers in Arena, I could have more time to test. Maybe there's a better way to use Executor versus TIE Dagger. But from the initial testing, like I did, I think I finally found one, and I did like 15 battles. I wasted 3 refreshes on this one team, and I think out of those 15 battles I only won 4 times, twice with Slave 1 starting, twice with triple attacker starting, so definitely it's a struggle there. Alright guys, this video was actually a lot longer than I planned it to be, but it's just a lot to unpack when it comes to this, just because of those speeds are all so closely matched, especially once you get Relic 8 or Relic 9 Seed Fighter. The turn order, you know, it's gonna be very important, so I just wanted to give you a few different ways to go about it. So hopefully you can go in a Fleet Arena, give it a go, and see which strategy works best for you. Once again, huge thanks to a fellow community member, Koji, for the idea of Slave 1 starting and explaining how it works, and as well helping out with the testing, IG and Slave 1 starting, different relic levels, different turn orders. He definitely helped me out a lot to produce this guide. Thank you for watching, guys. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Probably mirror match Leviathan is up next to do. My Leviathan is 6 stars, so I'm not sure if that will be good enough yet to try out mirror matches. I'll give it a go and let you know how I get on with that. But until then, have fun, enjoy life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.